Oh, that's a Swedish one as well, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he's Swedish. Yeah, double Wii Fit. These are the kinds of things that are actually going to be fun.
Yeah, you notice here they're going to like cover each other while the other gets deep breathing in. For those of you who don't know, that deep breathing is going to give the Wii Fit trainer a massive buff to the knockback that she does.
Exactly, and in doubles, where normally like damage will be a little bit less, now you will still have a useful damage buff as well. That kind of negates the smaller damage decrease. But while I'm talking, they already got this massive spike, which causes a massive lead.
ThymeBalloon absolutely spaced that dare to perfection, forcing his opponent's Wii Fit trainer straight down to the blast zone. And you see again, it's ThymeBalloon holding center stage as well, with that huge threat bubble that Lucina has at her disposal. Yeah.
I believe like Lucina is a very defensive character, and in doubles it can show as well, because Lucina's current goal is to like just take control of the area. Don't focus directly on the opponent. Just make sure the area you're around is in your control.
Absolutely.
And meanwhile, Peach is just trying to get her stuff going, trying to get the heavy hits in. And yeah, that's basically how Team Green is currently working. And it's been working out for them quite nicely. Like, Neo is already on his last stock.
Absolutely. And don't forget, we've got the share stock mechanic ready to come in clutch just in case you find yourself at a stock deficit. But one of the things I want to call out in this matchup is the fact that the Wii Fit trainers have already got one of Peach's stocks off. Now this is going to be quite important because Peach is a fantastic stock tank. So
she is.
When things start to get a bit hairy, she can float above the action, just preserving all of those stocks so that her teammate can share with her later should they get eliminated.
Yeah, that's indeed a thing as well. But as the roles are now assigned, like currently with the defensive role that ThymeBalloon is having, he's just taking his time. He's playing defensively anyway, so he won't put himself at too much risk, making him a bit more suited here for the tank role.
ThymeBalloon also, like, because he holds that threat bubble, just because he does that does not mean he's limited to tanking though. Because he can bully people off stage with that rage. That rage comes into great effect the moment one of your opponents is off stage.
And there we go. It's looking very dire here for the yellow team, even though they're only one stock behind. And as I say that, both yellow team members are on their last stock.
Yeah, and there we see that share stock coming in. Better to be playing 2 versus 2 versus 1 on 2, because there are some truly inescapable situations in doubles in this game.
There definitely are. However, Baali it seems that he's finding his spacing just a bit better than before. Like, he's taking less damage now, which is very helpful, because you don't want to take too much risk. Even in this situation, it's still very easy for the yellow team to turn it around.
You're absolutely right, and both Wii Fits losing their final stock at almost exactly the same frame right there.
Like, there wasn't even a chance for the game to register the final hit input.
Can you hit down please?
Quite a solid victory from the green team. However, there is room for improvement there, as Baali is showing some adaptation with how he is trying to get across the stage, trying to get these hits in, and we're probably going to see more of that, of course, in the next game, and see what he's going to do with the knowledge he has now.
One thing I would love to call attention to right there, at one point towards the final stock of that game, both Wii Fit trainers found themselves off stage to the right hand side in very close proximity to each other.
Yeah.
They both, only one of them went for the volleyball while they were both off stage, and that must be either a pre-arranged communication or an ad hoc communication between the two of them, because if you get that wrong, you can accidentally end up spiking your partner as well.
They definitely can, and I honestly hope that we'll actually see more of it, because those things can be quite hard to notice, especially because, well, we as viewers and commentators, we don't know exactly what they know prior to this game. Like, have they any dangerous setups or any other thing that's actually gonna like amaze us? Like, it's doubles, of course. There are so many things we haven't seen yet, and hopefully they're gonna show. And there's actually a character switch here. Mid is going for the Incineroar. I thought like the other player, like Neo, would go for a different character, because as far as I know, Mint, he's like the main Wii Fit trainer.
Okay, so one thing I'm quite interested to find out is, can you activate the revenge buff that Incineroar gets on his counter down B as your teammate.
You can, but it's, I believe, like they did in Smash 4, like it's weaker if it's from your teammate.
Okay.
So you can't really abuse that.
Okay, that's something that's very interesting to know. It's not something that you can just walk, the moment you have a spare second, just walk up and F-smash your own teammate.
Because if that were a thing, we would actually have like Ganondorf, Warlock punching, Incineroar, and Incineroar doing a single side B and just taking stock at 0%.
Absolutely.
We don't need those kind of things.
You know what, this is that's the kind of things that I like, those are the kinds of things that I love seeing in doubles though. Who can go in and find this the most broken setups they can.
But there are a lot more broken setups that are still very doable and don't rely on any counter from your teammate, but who knows? Hopefully we're gonna see some of those tonight.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what setups you may have had in plan because Mint just lost his first stock right now. Ooh, takes one immediately in return though.
Not equalizing the stock count as well.
Yeah.
Neo's trying to find a bit more ground here because he is on a high percentage. Meanwhile, like I said before, ThymeBalloon is still playing a very defensive game. He's like only claiming the space around him and not going in too far. Only when he's certain. Only when he's certain he will try something weird, something crazy. But that's something I do notice as well. Like the green team is not really interacting with each other. They're just playing their own game. They have these role assignment, but there's no real synergy between them where they meet.
That's something you find that two individually skilled players will do quite often.
Yeah.
They will decide, they will often decide the best plan for them is to separate a doubles match into two one-on-ones. And I find that the most seasoned doubles teams will often be synergistic in the way that they approach each of their opponents. So the moment you realize that, let's say you have an opponent, a team with one player who has a very weak off-stage game, you'll find that you'll get that player off stage and then both teammates will go absolutely ham trying to get rid of that stock.
Exactly.
And perhaps sometimes even just totally ignoring their teammate for the time being. They deem it as a worthwhile sacrifice. Speaking of ignoring teammates, one thing that you can't do in the way that this matchup, goes, is that you cannot afford to ignore Wii Fit Trainer if she's left alone.
Yeah, because if she's left alone, she can set up all of things. Her deep breathing, neutral B, side B, all those things are gonna come out.
Yeah.
It's making it difficult to just focus on Incineroar here, who of course is a character with a bit weaker recovery.
I saw Mint try and get a revenge counter off in the confusion there. Something that I would think that Incineroars would be able to do quite a bit in this matchup, because confusion is abundant in doubles.
There we go. Okay, even without the revenge, that would still probably have taken out Peach there. But, and we got another one.
There goes the clothesline. Getting one of his opponents off the stage, dash attack, clearing them both out, but the Peach manages to make it back. Here we go, there comes the revenge armor. Really smart there from ThymeBalloon. Decides to use the absolute width of that threat bubble to get Mint up above him into the air where Incineroar isn't as strong as perhaps he could be.
Well, they did buff some of his aerials if I remember correctly though, but those are more for from the air to the ground kind of aerials now, like he's down there. But as I'm talking,
we just saw perhaps Neo accidentally save one of his opponents as well. Mint managed to get a high knockback move off, but the volleyball came in clutch for his opponent, unfortunately for the yellow team, that is.
I also noticed like the clothesline actually, as soon as he has thrown the opponent, he still has a bit of armor. Like he got hit there from below, but still was able to just get out of it perfectly fine.
Oh no, he's accidentally killed his own teammate. And this is suddenly a really even game. In fact, it's in Neo's favor. Sorry, Mint's favor.
It definitely is.
Back throw! Is that going to kill?
Yes, it actually is. The 2-1 comeback here from Mint. That was a good call to take the stock from his teammate.
Yeah.
Because, well, this character, of course, is very strong. Has some defensive options as well. A little bit worse on the recovery, but in these kind of situations where both opponents have to communicate rather well to take out the opponent, that's going to put a bit of stress on them as well. And a character like Incineroar, I feel like he can take advantage of that.
One single mistake and taking absolutely nothing away from Mint right there, but he was kind of gifted a free one-on-one when really you can expect that he had not very much right to get back into that game. He's a heavy character, he's a powerful character, but getting those big powerful moves out takes a little bit of time, and Incineroar setups like is it down tilt to forward air, down tilt to back air, they take a little bit of time to get out. And by eliminating his own partner, he afforded Mint a free one-on-one, and all Mint needed from that point onwards was one grab by the ledge.
He definitely had to, and well, luckily for him, it worked out. But it's still like, as soon as you're like facing two opponents at once, it becomes a completely different game, because it becomes like a game of cat and mice. You're trying to get away, and get to the cheese, and in this case, the cheese was them hitting each other, and then you could play the 1v1 and get the back throw, and then be done with it. This is how double sometimes can be.
So in the 1v1,
yeah.
Do you think it's best to isolate your opponent on the ledge with both of you stood on stage staggered?
Yeah, I mean the 2v1.
In the 2v1, sorry. In the 2v1, do you think it's it's best to have neutral control of the stage with your opponent sandwiched between you?
You want to have them sandwiched between you, and if that's not possible, you want to be ready for your teammate to actually create an opening with the tilt, something which you can capitalize on and get a strong hit on.
Oh yeah, there we go. So you want your teammate to feed you opportunities, essentially.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting straight back into game number 3, tied up at 1 game apiece. Loser of this is going to go down to the losers bracket of this doubles event. ThymeBalloon flying off stage, swinging for the fences, and is Neo going to be able to make it back? Absolutely not.
Yeah, the up B might get far, but not that far, and he had a lot of knockback from that stage spot, so that's definitely gonna hurt in the long run here in this game.
One thing I do like from Neo right now is that he uses the amount of invincibility time the game's afforded to him, like to the absolute maximum efficiency. The moment he came back down off that platform, he knows he can't be hit. He uses that opportunity to get a free deep breathing. In fact, both of these players are doing it. The moment they lose a stock, when they have to respawn, free deep breathing, because that makes such a difference in the amount of knockback that your moves do.
Yeah, like you can basically get some sort of revenge kill by going for that, and you have the invincibility to just do it. So why won't you? Because they're not in doubles. There's not much room actually to normally throw it out. So rather use it now, and then eventually when you need it again, have it back on like full speed. Because if you, of course, as we know, if you use deep breathing and try to use it again, the circle shrinks a lot smaller.
Yes.
I mean a lot slower. So
making it harder to get making it harder to get the full buff. So one thing we haven't drawn attention to yet is the fact that there's been a winning counter pick. Despite winning the previous game with a 1v2 as Incineroar, they've elected to eliminate Incineroar from their team lineup.
Yeah, it's a weird choice. Also, they don't match anymore in color.
This is true.
What is good as well.
The most important thing in your team synergy is the color that you're able to select.
Like we're jokingly saying that, but at the same time, you want to have the color, at least the synergy color, to make sure like, okay, this is my color, I'm yellow, he's yellow, so whenever things are getting hectic.
1 second, we've just had a whole bunch of spaghetti on the right hand side of the screen right there. Baali boy and Baali has unfortunately SD'd, floated a bit too far down, got a bit too thirsty for that kill, and was unable to recover all the way back up to the top. And in fact, I think Neo did exactly the same thing as well. He was unable to get back too. A lot to follow going on in doubles.
Yeah, it's a rather hectic game.
Yeah. Some people could refer to it as precision-controlled chaos.
You could call it that, yeah. It's definitely something you could call
Oh no, ThymeBalloon just dropping right off, killing both of them at the same time with a fair, and now Mint alone again, not able to share stocks with his partner. He's stuck in a 2v1 with 3 stocks to take now.
Like, and this is it. Most of the time, these become the interesting part. It's like, what have these players communicated before?
There we go. They are opting to go with ThymeBalloon in the point position, and the pressure upon Mint at the ledge is just too much for him to take, and he unfortunately gives them a jump.
Yeah, the thing is that didn't seem like a move that would normally knock out the opponent, because there was no kill screen. There was just one hit, and it was done.
I think he was put into hit stun very quickly by a turnip or a projectile, and then that Lucina back air caught him off guard, and therefore his DI was not on point at the very moment that he was hit. That's why we didn't see a kill screen. Yeah, and to be honest, it's sometimes really difficult to guess what kind of DI you're going to do, because in doubles there are, again, multiple factors that can